right. Welcome to the first edition of the High IQ podcast. Anybody can listen to it. Sam, what are you playing with over there?
Oh, I think this is one of Travis's trinkets. I know, but it's addictive, man. It's like a square, yeah.
It looks like the new fidget spinner.
I know, right? You never know when something like that's going to go viral.
Yeah.
I think it's a little more complicated.
Wait, let me introduce you first. So tonight we have Sam Kazemian, co-founder, president of Everipedia. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great, man.
Yeah. Sweet. So let's get this started. So just how did you start Everipedia?
Yeah, I mean, like, this has been like a interesting like road. Like originally, at UCLA, I was more into crypto than building websites and stuff like that. And then I was a miner and all that stuff. Then I met Teddy, talked about building apps and websites while I was actually mining. So we built Everipedia. It was just a fun project. People liked it. Liebowitz saw it, who was at Rap Genius before. And he was like, yo, let's do this. This could be bigger than Genius itself. And then, we started building it, getting traction, getting, 1 million uniques a month, 2 million uniques a month. And then as crypto started getting big again in 2017, decentralized applications, ICOs and all this stuff, we're like, well, let's just build the crypto Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Because
Can we go back actually to the early days? What was it like when you first were building it with Teddy? I remember you telling me about how you were in your dorm room, like you showed me pictures of monsters all over the place, and you were just hacking away, building it over like a period of 6 months, right? And you were still in school.
Yeah, man, the UCLA days.
Let's go.
Yeah, that
go
was
Bruins.
that was actually crazy. I was not sleeping at all except for like 3-4 hours a day. I can't even do that anymore, but it was crazy times.
It's good to get sleep now.
Yeah, a little bit more. I can come in when I want to. There's no classes. Yeah. It was cool. I think my caffeine intake is about the same, about 3 monsters a day. It's pretty bad.
Keeps the doctor away, right? Maybe it attracts the doctor.
Yeah, but holy shit. I actually like the Monster. It's called Monster Max. It has like 2 times the caffeine of a normal Monster.
Okay.
Pretty good.
You
just kind of have to build the tolerance for that, though.
Honestly, Red Bull doesn't do it to me.
Oh, dude.
Red Bull's like soda.
Like, yeah, seriously.
It's water. It's literally water.
That's how bad it's got.
I would drink Red Bull and fall asleep.
Seriously,
you remember?
Yeah. No, I drink Red Bull with a meal so that like I stay at baseline. Otherwise, like I really gotta take a nap.
But when you really gotta go, Monster Max. It's the way to go. Yeah. Okay, so you were not sleeping, you were building this, and didn't you launch it December 31st, 2014?
Yeah, that's like the first time, I think on the Wayback Machine, you can actually see it. It looked really different. I mean, the internet looked different in 2014. We launched the first version literally on the last day of 2014, just so we could be like, yeah. And it was definitely different looking, and it evolved a lot, as the internet evolved, as crypto, it became easy to build applications on blockchains, everything evolved. And so it's really cool to look back on it. It's like I think when people like look back on like Facebook in 2004 or something.
2004, 2005 when it was the Facebook. It wasn't Everipedia more like Reddit than it was Wikipedia early on?
A little bit. At the beginning it was, because if you think about it, like we were trying to have pages for everything. So the whole name is Everything Encyclopedia.
Yeah, obviously.
And for like certain things, it's like better to have links to like accounts and like specific articles and stuff instead of this really long like verbose essay of like, the quantum theory of like, physics or something. So it was like, it changed as the content and the community changed. So the whole thing actually kind of.
When you built Everipedia at first, so it's the Encyclopedia of Everything. Did you think of it as the encyclopedia of just up and coming things in culture? Because that's how I think of it. I see that Wikipedia from 2001 to like 2009. They were really innovative. They really took the encyclopedia to the next level, but then they just kind of stopped once they became deletionist. And I feel like Everipedia is really taking the mantle of making pages for influencers, artists, people in the news, people that really should have Wikipedias because they are notable, like hundreds of thousands of followers. but yet they don't have pages. So I feel like Wikipedia is really slacking there, and that's where I really feel like Everipedia stands and like where a lot of value in the encyclopedia comes from.
Yeah, I think it's just like trying to, adapt to the new way people learn on the internet. Like Wikipedia did a good job with changing, like flipping the page from Britannica to an online encyclopedia. But now people learn differently online. They actually go, if they're into like startups, they go on Crunchbase. If they're into like movies and
you go IMDb.
Yeah, exactly.
DB, yeah.
And so we're like, okay, well, what if we take a lesson here and then we actually make all of these things possible under one roof, like learning about everything.
Can you hold 1 sec? I just want to make sure the mic is working.
For sure.
Is this really paranoid? Okay, yeah, the bars are moving. Funny story, our first attempt at a podcast was last year around this time when I had to block Bitcoin for plebs and the mic didn't work. We filmed this awesome interview. We were both probably 20 pounds heavier. You had longer hair.
That's actually good. We were probably 40 pounds.
Yeah. Wait, so how much weight did you lose? Like 40 pounds?
Yeah, I went on a big cut for weightlifting. I think almost 40, yeah. I'm like 180 now. So,
nice. Yeah. Lean and mean.
I lost a little bit of bench strength. Now I can barely hit like 350. If that.
Only. Oh, now he can only hit 300. Wow.
I should put some of this on Instagram so people actually believe me at 180.
You gotta do a Transformation Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. It looks so crazy looking back.
It's like once you decided to cut the hair, that's when you're just like, all right, I'm going to get lean now. I'm going to cut. It's time to go.
At first, it wasn't super intentional. Like, it was just because of work, all of the extra stuff we were doing, we're building, the traveling we had to do. And then, like, it was just natural. And then people were like, oh, shit, did you, are you cutting for, like, lifting and stuff? And then everyone's like, damn, your cut's going really well. I was like, I guess I'm cutting.
I guess it's just how your lifestyle was that it just happened to coalesce with you cutting weight and losing weight.
Just like super fast paced. Yeah.
And before in high school, you were super skinny. You were a cross country runner. Yeah.
Damn, I can no longer run 3 miles under 17 minutes. I used to be able to do that. No, never. I don't think ever again in my life I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, me either. So, how'd you go from skinny cross country runner to powerlifter? Because powerlifting is one of your passions. Like a lot of people like know you that you lift, but like they don't know how you got into it.
I actually just was introduced by like a friend at UCLA that lived in like the same floor.
Yeah.
And then I decided to join with like two people on my same floor, Mason and Tyler.
Yeah.
And I'm actually still good friends with them. And then we just joined together, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty cool. I used to still run when I got to UCLA, and then I just liked weightlifting much better.
Yeah, weightlifting is definitely more fun. You definitely feel more alive, I feel like, when you're just like pushing weight, when you really feel it.
Yeah, it just feels different than distance running. Distance running, I like the runner's high at the end when you just run like 9 miles and you're done.
Yeah.
You have this like runner's high that I haven't felt in like years, but
in years.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can feel that again because I don't think I can run that. So.
But yeah, weightlifting is definitely different, especially when you're trying to work to get to that certain weight and then you finally hit it. It's just like, yes, pushed it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I've been lifting since I was 13 years old. I used to lift at Carini's House of Iron. Joe Carini, he would train all these NFL guys in this like really old school gym. And he was in like nothing really fancy at all. He had like a bunch of dumbbells, like pulleys, barbells.
That's all you need, man.
That's really all you need.
That's what I like about weightlifting. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, the iron will kick it, whatever it is to you.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
The iron doesn't judge.
Yeah, it doesn't judge. It doesn't care. What's that? That Henry Rollins quote. It's like, doesn't matter who you are. 400 pounds is still 400 pounds, or something like that. Yeah. So
unless you're on Mars.
I guess it's true.
We'll ask Elon about that.
Yeah, unless you're on a SpaceX rocket, then you have to calculate how much fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember like when I started lifting, I was really small and just skinny and awkward looking. Like there's nothing more awkward than your like puberty phase, and just like I would just go into this gym and this Joe. If you could picture Joe Carini. He's just like he's like 5'8", 5'9", but he's huge. He's like really round and like he doesn't take any shit. And he would go like this, like he would just like kind of tell me what to do. He would be like, "Hey Davey, you gonna go on the bench press over there. You're gonna do 5 sets, 200 pounds, 5 sets, 3 times." And then I would just go do it, go back to him, and I'll just be there. I literally spent 5 years just doing that, and that's how I basically got my strength.
Was this in Jersey?
This was in New Jersey, yeah.
That sounds like it'd be.
Yeah. Actually, one time, like everybody would always bring him food, and he would just devour it. And one time, I thought it was being nice. I used to work at this bagel shop as a kind of like a busboy and like kind of stock the shelves and whatnot. And I brought him some bagels, so it's because I thought it was nice. Yeah. But one of the bagels was a salt bagel.
Oh, he doesn't like
and
it.
He has like, he's like poisonous to salt or something. Oh, and so he was like, for the next 2 months, all I heard was like, every time somebody would walk by, you're like, "Hey, you know Davey tried to kill me over here? He tried to bring in salt bagels. Like, what are you doing?" And then like literally for 2 months straight, and I never heard the end of that. Oh, yeah. But eventually I went to college and moved out here and stopped going to him. But
is he still there?
He's still there, yeah. He actually has an Everipedia page.
Yeah.
Him and Creany's House of Iron, one of the early Everipedia pages I made in like summer 2016 before I moved out here full time.
See, that's what's cool. Like, it's like people want to learn in that area, want to learn about the history of something. Where do they go? Usually they have to go and like either find like the about page of a website,
yeah,
or like maybe the website doesn't even have a good about page. Like there should be like a wiki for something like that,
yeah,
and there isn't, right? So that's kind of what Everipedia does, plus all the other stuff that anyone would want.
Yeah, that's what I really love about Everipedia. I call them kind of, they're just people that are prominent in a certain area. They might not be nationally known, but in like a certain region, people know who they are, and they've had a wide effect on people. And they've made a name for themselves in an area, yet there's no Wikipedia page on them, even though they're notable. They're like notable enough really for one. So
yeah, I think Paul Graham from YC said something like that, like a better Wikipedia alternative needs to be made, because like what's the point of like deleting the articles? Like if no one reads the article, then fine, then it's almost like it doesn't exist, right? But it should be helpful to some people, so why delete it?
Tree falls in a forest and no one hears it.
If a wiki's not really edited.
Yeah. Actually, I remember when I was writing my kind of manifesto in Hacker Noon of like why everybody should edit Everipedia, I was doing some research about it. And early in Wikipedia's history, there was a battle between deletionists and inclusionists. And the inclusionists were more in our camp. They're just like, hey, everything should really have a page. If it's not up to the highest quality, it's fine. It can always be fixed. And the deletionists were like, no, like we should just focus our time on like certain subjects. And then obviously the deletionists won out, and they've taken that path, and I think it's definitely had some consequences on them. I feel like it's kind of made them more of a closed community, and I just want to say I actually really like Wikipedia. I really respect what they've done. They kind of they definitely paved the way for Everipedia, but the same way as Encyclopedia Britannica paved the way for Wikipedia, like there's always room for something new.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I definitely think it has certain advantages, like prestige. Like that's why if someone has a Wikipedia, be like, oh, he must be really famous to get past that like notability thing. You know,
it was like the first blue check mark.
Yeah, that's a good point. The first blue check, yeah. But it's like it actually doesn't help in terms of growth and getting bigger. Like as evidenced by how fast Everipedia has grown, right? And like the content that's like the diversity of content that's there. Yeah. But like, I mean, I guess it makes it a little bit more prestigious. But then as soon as Google starts using Everipedia for knowledge cards, sources, and stuff, then it's gonna be kind of game over for
Wikipedia. Yeah, and I've actually seen, since I've been working at Everipedia, their rank has gone down on Alexa. They were originally 4 or 5 when I got here in 2016, but then in 2018, now they're around 10 or 11.
I think the real metric is like what people, search engines, bots, and stuff use as like a valid source of information. Obviously, Wikipedia is right now at this time the most trusted source of like vetted, like secondary cited information or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But like I've seen more and more people actually citing EP and actually Google and Bing and all these search engines actually displaying EP results as knowledge cards. That's pretty cool.
I think the coolest thing is actually for like the past week, I've been out meeting different people, talking to people, and people have been telling me they've been seeing Everipedia in search results randomly.
That's what's really good. That's basically like
just normal, like normal everyday people, and the name of the game is trying to get your name out there, and trying to get those impressions, and that's what really gets me excited.
Yeah, and then that's also what's really cool about it being, tied to like a crypto token, because like it's one of the first consumer like applications that actually the token grows as the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, and we haven't even gotten into that at all. We've just been getting into the content. So can you talk about the IQ token?
Yeah. So that's what we started building in 2017 when it actually became possible to build decentralized applications, because a lot of new projects like EOS, which were built on, and Ethereum and stuff finally got going enough. So the IQ token is basically what's used to edit and curate content. You stake it. It's a staking token. It's just kind of crypto lingo. But what we're doing is we're actually building a front end so that people don't even have to manage the token. So when they just use the site in the back,
making it as seamless as possible.
Exactly, because that's what's going to have to happen if crypto is going to be mainstream. It's actually going to have to be back end software. Just like how Facebook uses backend software like Linux servers and stuff like that. No one needs to know how that works.
They just need to know how to use it.
Exactly. And so the IQ token grows as the Everipedia ecosystem grows, as well as other apps that we're building. We're actually building a prediction market around the IQ token. Yeah, and then basically, as those things grow and get traction, the market cap of the token should grow because people will use it as a staking token, as a fee token, and all that stuff.
So how is the inflation going to work for that, for the prediction market compared to Everipedia? Are they going to have it's all IQ token, right?
Right.
So how would the inflation work if people are editing articles and then people are here doing?
Well, they get rewarded. So people get rewarded IQ tokens for doing a good job on Everipedia.
Yeah.
They pay market creation fees and trading fees on the prediction market in IQ. So the fees are paid in IQ.
Okay.
And then the bets are basically just paid out in crypto, such as like IQ, EOS. So it's not
so the fees are paid in IQ.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, imagine like a decentralized exchange, and the fees are paid in IQ tokens. So it's like basically the volume is correlated to the value of the IQ token. It's kind of like Binance Coin. If people are familiar with that, it's basically Binance's exchange token.
And you were just at Binance Week in Singapore.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was awesome. I got to talk to CZ a lot. They have some really interesting stuff. There's so much stuff being built out, even though...
And they have Binance chain?
Yeah.
They're just like, Ethereum's not working for us. We're going to build our own chain.
That's actually where I see a lot of this stuff going. Like, there's going to be a lot of different chains as cross-chain communication becomes basically like trivial. Right now, it's really difficult to move assets across multiple blockchains in a trustless manner. You need to like deposit them in a centralized exchange and then exchange them for the other asset on the like Bitcoin. You need to deposit it in an exchange, trade it for Ethereum, trade it for EOS, and then you have EOS. But I think soon cross-chain like swaps will be so seamless that, especially with stuff like Binance, where it's its own chain, and then you send your tokens, and then you exchange them for other stuff, and then you switch them back.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the glue that holds multiple ledgers together.
How will this cross-blockchain communication work? Is it through? I remember reading about Tendermint or.
Well, the different chains could be through different consensus methods like Tendermint or proof of stake like DPoS and other stuff. But the main thing that's the most important is trustlessly moving the tokens between chains, and that's basically like verifying block headers and having smart contracts that like basically can tell that you signed a transaction on one chain, and then that transaction locks your tokens on this chain, so you can't spend it twice, and then it'll activate the tokens on the other chain, so you can like move them around here. And then you sign a special transaction on this chain. That chain can read this chain's transactions like trustlessly through a smart contract, knows that you locked your stuff or like, burned it or something. And then it unlocks your coins again on the other one. And it's just like this trustless movement between distributed ledgers.
Cool. So let's go back a little bit. So you got into crypto just mining in your dorm room. You literally I remember you showed me a video. You literally just put some old GPUs, old computer parts, put them together, and just had a whole rig set up in your room. Right?
Yeah, I had a bunch of GPUs, and then like back then it was actually profitable to CPU mine too certain coins like X11 proof of work coins.
So you're truly an OG.
Yeah, back then I don't think there's any CPU profitable coins really, like unless you have free power. But yeah, back then there was like newer coins that came out that there weren't GPU miners for. You could mine using CPUs. I think Darkcoin, I think now it's called Dash, was one of the first ones.
Yeah,
that was really profitable to mine with CPU. There's a few more. I forget right now.
Yeah, it's funny how you went full circle from mining to starting Everipedia, and then look, ICOs and crypto, and everything's taking off again. Come full circle, and it's really been a self-education experience, right? You're like learning along the way, like
there's no actual classes or anything about this stuff. It's actually funny thing you bring up self-education. Like UCLA this quarter has the two first official like blockchain classes, one in the law school and one in the CS department.
And didn't you speak at that?
Yeah, I'm actually giving a lecture on Tuesday at the CS one, and then I was invited to speak at the law school one. And it's really cool that there's finally classes, but it's 2019 and these are the first classes, you know what I mean? So it's like it's cool to have been in it like back when it was just like literally nothing. Like it was like 4 years ago now.
Yeah. What was it like when Dogecoin first came out?
Oh my god, dude! It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Like I remember, it was a lot of fun. Just like crazy, like random, like sponsoring the Doge car.
I saw that.
Yeah, Josh Wise. That shit was so good. It's just funny that like that stuff seems like a joke, but now it's like a $100+ billion industry, you know what I mean?
And it's still so small.
Yeah.
And now you have the big boys getting into it. Like this week, JP Morgan announcing their own stablecoin, JPM coin, and it was in the news a few days ago, but still there are reports coming out of it. There's still a lot of reaction on Twitter. What are your thoughts on that?
Dude, that was I think that's one of the bigger things I've seen in crypto in the past like 2 or 3 months at least.
It gives validation to the entire industry.
It really does. No, it's I mean, I have my own opinions about stablecoins. I've said multiple times last year that 2019 is going to be the year of the stablecoin because people are going to realize you need stable value transfer on distributed ledgers.
I'm pretty sure I saw a video of you online saying that.
Yeah.
2019.
I'm gonna like basically.
It's on the record.
Yeah.
Sam Kazemian, 2019.
Multiple places.
Yeah.
I'm saying it again. Yeah, but this year, a lot of stablecoin projects. We have an internal project here at Everipedia called Decentral Bank.
Yeah.
And we do research on stablecoins. One of the things I think will happen is as more and more large institutions are going to be like, okay, we need to use distributed ledger technology, whether permissioned or completely permissionless networks like Ethereum and EOS. They're all going to want currency settlement, right? Like stable value settlement. Even dApps like our prediction market, Everipedia and stuff will need actual stable currency as like some medium of exchange, because you don't want to be exposed to the volatility of speculative assets. Not always. Sometimes you do, but it's like
you need a safe space.
Yeah, exactly. That's crypto's version of safe spaces. Right?
Stable coins are the safe spaces.
Yeah, we need more safe spaces. So like, think about it. Imagine if you had to like buy iPhones only with like Apple stock, or like you could only shop at Walmart with Walmart stock.
Doesn't work.
It would be a little bit. It would suck because like you either have to convert right at that point, like right when you're about to pay your Walmart, like shopping cart or whatever, or like you're implicitly like exposed to the volatility of the stock. Like if Walmart like misses earnings like the next day, you know what I mean? Like you don't.
And you're screwed.
Yeah, and it's like people don't want to buy stuff or hold speculative assets unless they're investing. You know what I mean? And so stable coins, I think people are finally realizing that it's important. there's a lot of different models for them, right? And here, our internal project, the central bank, actually has, I think, probably the most like grandiose, but like I think probably the best vision for it is we build distributed ledger and blockchain software for the currency issuing entities like central banks, instead of actually like building our own tether competitor, our own carbon, and all of
you're building the printing press.
Yeah, and then we're seeing which central banks want to use it, because you have JP Morgan basically being like, okay, we want dollars on the blockchain, but what are they doing? They're using their own blockchain, their internal. I think they use Quorum, which is their own actual internal product, which is an Ethereum fork. It's actually pretty cool. And then they're building JPM coin. I just don't see a world in which you convert JPM coin dollars into like Tether dollars, and then but then you.
That seems really complicated.
Yeah, it's like what? It's
people
like
just want to use one thing.
There's just dollars, right? Like why call it JPM? But there's just dollars, and so like what? How do we get to that world where there's dollars on the blockchain? Right, like actual dollars, not Tether coins, not CUSD, not carbon coin, not
like algorithmic dollar equivalents.
Yeah, and then I think the first real step towards that is going to the currency issuing entity. For the dollar, it's the Fed, right? And this won't be easy, right? But this is what the decentral bank project that we're working on is actually exploring, is saying, hey, you have clearly seen like interest in using distributed ledger technology as settlement for dollars. Like look at JP Morgan, right? Look at all of the crypto industry.
Look at Russia, look at all these countries saying look at Sweden, they're all saying we're interested in looking into issuing our own digital currency.
Exactly. And it's like, so we have the perfect software, the decentral bank software. It's like a pun on decentralized central bank.
It rolls off the tongue, right? Decentral bank.
Yeah, and then
Ron Paul would be proud.
Yeah, I hope he would be proud. I don't know if he'd be proud.
Actually, no, he would not. No, he would not. Like, he would not like that. But I wonder what he would think about an algorithmic stablecoin.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can ask him.
We can ask him. Yeah, hit him up.
Yeah, I mean, and then so we wanted to go to the Fed and be like, look, instead of all of these people trying to like issue their own JPM coin backed by dollars, why don't you just issue the dollar itself on a distributed ledger on a blockchain? And we have the best blockchain for you to do that. We've specifically built the central bank software, like the blockchain software, for issuing currencies. There's no better system for you to do that. Why don't you try it? And so like that's actually like where we're at, and there's going to be some cool stuff we're going to announce soon. But like I said, I think 2019 will be the year of the stablecoin. And it's shaping up to be, right? Like JP Morgan, all of this stuff.
Yeah, it's only been 2 months in, and all this action's happening.
Wait for it.
And I think what's cool about the stablecoin and the distributed ledger technology that you're building is, since it is distributed ledger technology, and we were talking about earlier, the cross-blockchain communication, it will do that just seamlessly between national currencies and cryptocurrencies.
Exactly.
And that's the key, because right now it's such a pain to purchase cryptocurrency with with regular digital dollars. You have to sign up for Coinbase. You got to put your bank account in. It's such a hassle. No one likes it.
Exactly.
And this will make it seamless and easy.
Yeah, imagine if
flipping a switch, basically.
Exactly. Imagine if your dollars could be basically switched to Bitcoin or anything else, literally by signing into some app.
Yeah.
That's how easy it would be, because all you have to do is sign the transaction for your dollars, basically, using a public-private key.
Yeah.
So
cool stuff happening.
Really cool stuff. And it's going to be faster than people think. Out of nowhere, JP Morgan came, right? And it's you don't know. Next month, maybe some central bank will be actually, we've explored ways to issue our currency on the blockchain, and we're going to.
What are you trying to imply here?
No.
Yeah, I think what I've noticed being in startups and crypto is just life in startups moves fast. Things just evolve really fast. And then crypto's just literally warp drive. It's just things. It's crazy.
Dude, it's financial markets that don't sleep, go on 24/7, 365. So it's insane.
Doesn't take any breaks.
Yeah.
it's crazy to think how in a matter of a year or 2 years, how we went from being in an apartment in Westwood. Actually, I don't know if listeners know this, but I joined Everipedia in September 2016. I originally was in New Jersey editing the site and kind of just got pulled over here. I saw the vision and came over here. It's really amazing to see where we were in September 2016, just working away, making wikis and whatnot. And then once blockchain got into it, how everything went to warp drive and how basically it was just we were in the right time and place and positioned ourselves well to do what we did.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much market share to be had in the blockchain space. Just
and it's so small.
Yeah, and it's just like it's clear. It's like the next phase of the internet. I mean, it's less and less people can debate it as like
it's only a matter of
like, okay, here we go, and then like next thing central banks will be like, okay, this is legit, right? So it's like it's clearly the next wave of the internet, and there's like so few people working in it. It's like, okay, well,
still,
yeah.
It's funny. I went back to the Northeast back in the fall, and there was excitement there in 2017 about crypto. Like when everything was going up, and people were just like, "Whoa! Like, what is this?" And kind of reminded me of 2014, but on a much bigger scale because you had more exchanges to purchase just random cryptos on. But then when I went back there in October 2018, it kind of just died off. Like people were just like, "Oh, like that was the thing that crashed."
Yeah, I think for retail, it's not very interesting when the prices aren't going up. But the tech is
fascinating.
Continues to get more and more interesting. At least for us nerds that are right. And so like until when the next big moves happen, currencies issued on chain, ZK snarks and privacy features are fully implemented, scaling solutions work, these big consumer applications, Everipedia, Predict, which is our prediction market, and other stuff, CryptoKitties, all this stuff hits critical mass.
Yeah.
It'll just basically take off again, I think.
Yeah. You mentioned ZK Snarks. For people that are watching or listening that haven't heard of it, what is ZK Snarks? It sounds like something I would name my cat.
It's actually one of the cooler technologies in crypto. Yeah, so it's basically, it stands for zero knowledge proofs.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty trippy. They're basically
pretty trippy.
It's a new.
I approve.
No, really. If you go read the opening paragraph of the wiki for zero knowledge proofs, I always love asking people like, read this and see if it's possible. The definition is proving that you know something without revealing what the fact is. But proving
how's that even possible?
Yeah, proving that you know it, right? Everyone's like, that's not about. And the reason it's relevant to crypto is because you use this technique to fully transact in private without revealing the amount of money or to who you're sending it to, but just that you are spending money. Like you're not double spending it, you're not counterfeiting.
Just that you're spending it.
Exactly. Not to who, not how much. And it doesn't make sense. We're like, how would that even be possible, right? But it's actually possible.
I think you described it to me once as Where's Waldo? Use Where's Waldo as an example.
Fun examples. Like imagine if you had one of those big Waldo books and you wanted to show your friend you knew where Waldo is, but not give it away, right? Like if you didn't want to give it away, how would you do that? Well, most people are like, I have no idea. You have to point to Waldo on the page and all of a sudden you give it away, right? The way you would do that is you take a huge piece of paper that covers the whole book, and then you like rotate the book so it's not obvious where in the book it is, and then you just poke a tiny hole in the paper that can show like Waldo's face, and then you just like put it on Waldo's face to prove to your friend, look, it's right here, but I'm not showing you where
it is on the map,
on the page. It is, but see, I can show you like Waldo is right here. Look at his face. Look at his clothes, right?
Yeah.
And then you just like close the book under it, and then you hand the book. He knows you know Waldo where Waldo is on that page. He doesn't know the whole puzzle, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a tricky way of proving you know stuff. Most people don't think about things like that.
Yeah. What ZK Snarks does really is it makes crypto more similar to just cold hard cash, because cold hard cash is the most private currency out there.
Exactly.
And with blockchain technology, since everything's on a public ledger, it's not private. people can track Bitcoin transactions to any given person.
People have been looking at like the Mt. Gox stolen coin since 2014. You know what I mean? So it's like
literally follow the money.
Yeah, seriously, right? And I think the coolest stuff that uses ZK Snarks, and there's this other thing, Mimblewimble, which Grin uses. That's really cool. All of these things are the future for real. And I've never been more excited about like technology than this kind of stuff. And it'll take another year or two, but it is definitely the future of blockchain.
Yeah. Do you see it? Do you see like another kind of bull run sparking from this, or from like privacy coins or stable coins? Like when do you? Because this stuff happens in waves. Or do you see something more similar to with after the .com crash? It kind of just went up gradually over time, and people didn't notice until one day. Oh wait, Amazon and Apple are $1 trillion companies.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. So these things come in waves, right? And so the boom and bust cycles are faster, right? Because we were like cryptos in like warp
drive.
Yeah. A new technology has to come out for there to be like euphoria, like irrational euphoric speculation around it. 2014, it was just around Bitcoin and altcoins and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And everything blew up, and then it kind of went back down to reasonable valuations. In 2017, it was the general compute chain, like ICOs, programmable tokens. Everything blew the fuck up, you know? And then now it's more reasonable valuation. Things have kind of like cooled down a little bit.
Yeah.
The next big stuff, I think, will be stable currencies and ZK Snarks and privacy solutions that actually combine, scaling solutions with private currencies. That will lead to more, resurgence in the space in terms of like investment and speculation.
What about dApps like Everipedia and Predixit? Because I feel like people, like once as a space evolves and these stable coins come out and people can move seamlessly between the IQ token and the decentral bank issued currency of whatever central bank or whatever, I feel like once that becomes easier, then much more people are like, hey, wait, I can actually like earn a little bit for myself, like actual value for my work that I'm contributing to, whether it's Everipedia or some other dApp. Like as someone that's been editing Everipedia for the past 7 months, it's really cool.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think that stuff will slowly, like you're saying, one day, the IQ token will have like a market cap of like 2 billion, right? And we'll be like, oh shit, that's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
It'll be sooner than people think, but like it'll be slow instead of like, like the insane stuff that happened in like 2017. But I think it'll happen like the same way Apple and Amazon, like it'll be earned.
It'll be earned.
Yeah.
It won't be just some pump.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to, it's not going to be like, oh, you put blockchain at the end of some company's name. You just pump.
That's over.
Those days are done. Yeah. But like I was saying with Everipedia, I've seen my Everipedia stack up over time, and how the system works right now is you basically have IQ, you stake, quote unquote, you basically lock up the IQ tokens for 21 days, and that gives you the power to edit pages, vote on pages, and you can put up the minimum right now is 50, but you can obviously put votes in for more, and you see it stack up over time. And that adds up. That really does add up, and it's just crazy to watch. And it's only been 7 months. Like I can't imagine, like if I was editing, if IQ existed before the pre-blockchain site, like what my IQ stack would be right now.
It's pretty cool, right? It's like when
it's like internet
points are actually fungible assets.
Yeah.
That's what blockchain does, and that's what's cool. It brings markets to things that wasn't possible to bring before.
Exactly, and Everipedia is actually a live blockchain product, which is crazy. Like
everything is on chain.
Everything's on chain. Yeah. The IQ's real. I was actually the other day switching IQ. I was using Bancor to switch IQ for Carbon, and I'm just like, wow, like this is actual dollars.
Yeah.
And then like Carbon has their ACH thing, and I could hypothetically go and do that. I'm just like, whoa, this is evolving way fast. Like you said, way faster than I thought. When everybody thinks.
People will be taken by surprise how much, progress will happen this year.
Yeah. So where do you see the future of central banks?
I see it on the blockchain.
That's
why we have this project with the central bank, because honestly, like it makes sense. It seems like it's the next evolution of money. There's been a lot of people that agree, both academics, finance people, even private banks like JP Morgan, right?
JP Morgan, like, let's come out with our own
people,
coin.
are basically in agreement. So this is probably the best opportunity there is to.
And it's still early.
Yeah,
It's
before early.
It's
no one's
early.
doing it. You know what I mean?
No one's doing. Yeah,
it's like building a website in like 1994.
Building a blog.
Yeah.
Building Amazon in 1994. Yeah. So how would you compare the crypto scene in like the U.S. and the West to the crypto scene in Asia? Because when I
actually really like going to Asia. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
I've only been to Korea, and that I was like, whoa, these people are in the future. Yeah,
it makes the U.S. seem kind of jank, but the cool thing is, it's really good to actually do business in the U.S. contrary to what a lot of crypto people think. Our regulations are pretty reasonable, especially now that the SEC and stuff has like come out and given a little more clarity.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they're very reasonable, and they understand the fine line between regulation to protect consumers and regulation, but to still allow entrepreneurs to innovate and build new things.
Yeah, otherwise the innovation happens elsewhere, and that's not in anybody's interest.
Exactly. The U.S. is really good at taking brain drain from other countries, not giving. And I think the SEC's done actually a good job, to be honest, so far. In terms of the community in Asia, they're huge. It's awesome. And I think the U.S. has probably the best community. There's always just this, this fear of like, oh, the SEC, but it's like, actually, I haven't seen anything really unreasonable.
Yeah, they've just been going after like the really bad projects, which is good. Which is what we ever, whether it's blockchain or not. Like, you want bad people to be gone after by the proper authorities.
Yeah, you want low effort stuff that actually hurts both the industry, both like confidence in real like legitimate projects. You want those people to have to answer up. You know what I mean? So, I actually think like. The blockchain communities in Singapore, Hong Kong, Korea. They're freaking awesome. I haven't been to Japan yet. I think I might be going in April. So I'll see how that is.
Take me with you.
Yeah, dude, come. I've never been, so like it's gonna be really fun. Yeah. But Asia is pretty much holding its own weight in tech and blockchain.
Yeah.
Against the U.S. Silicon Valley is not really relevant in the blockchain space.
Yeah, they kind of lag behind, right?
Dude, like, I'm actually surprised how...
Are they still lagging behind?
They just don't understand blockchain. They're like, oh, this is all a scam. It's like, okay, grandpa, like, thanks. I never thought, like, people in like San Francisco would have such a weird attitude to this stuff. It's like, how much longer are these people gonna like, be like in their like,
bubble? Yeah,
exactly. Like, they think that because they're in SF and they invented the first wave of the internet that like they can't be like usurped. But it's like, actually, you guys are in the past, So I don't know. There's a lot of pro blockchain people in SF, but like, you look at like comments on Hacker News, YC people talk about blockchain, other like, SF people, and like they're so, on average, they're so anti-blockchain. Obviously, there's cool Silicon Valley people that are pro-blockchain.
But the typical Silicon Valley person.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like you sound like that Simpsons character, the old man yells at like Sky. Yeah.
Old man yells at coin.
Yeah, seriously, right? It's like, dude, like, do you need like JP Morgan to do something, then like Wells Fargo, then the Federal Reserve, then like, $10 billion invested in this space? Like, yeah, seriously, it's like.
But isn't Facebook coming out with they're looking to coming out with the stable coin?
Yeah, it's like, well.
Or they have like a whole blockchain division, right?
Yeah, it's like how long is it going to take before like the majority of haters in SF are like, okay, well, we were wrong about this shit, right?
I feel like their day of reckoning will come soon enough.
Sooner, at warp speed.
Yeah. So what are some things you've learned on your journey of starting Everipedia and having it as a regular website and then going into crypto? Like, what are some lessons that you've taken?
I think they're just like life lessons, not even specific to crypto or anything. But like, it's not always like ups. There's ups and downs, but as long
yeah.
as seriously, right? For real. But as long as the like last downs, the last down is less down than the previous one, and then the current up is higher than the last up. As long as it's up and to the right, you're doing well overall. You have to look at the big picture, but there's gonna be times where you're like, shit, man, this sucks.
This sucks.
So
how is there a way out of this?
Yeah,
exactly. Just gotta soldier through.
Yeah, for real. Like I don't like to, call out names or whatever, so I'll keep. But there's really big projects that just quit. Yeah. And people, these are really weak entrepreneurs, and they can't, like, when it gets hot, when the heat comes out. Yeah, exactly. And you can't do that. It's not about blockchain or anything. It's just about like really difficult things in life. Like there was a huge blockchain project that raised over $130 million. And then they just gave up and gave the money back minus like some amount that they like paid to themselves as expenses. Almost seems like a scam, and it's like, and then everyone's like applauding them because like they're like, it was too.
They returned the money.
Yeah, and it's like that is the perfect example of terrible entrepreneurship. It's like, are you kidding me? You raised over $130 million, and you give the money back when
I've never heard of that before.
And then
not even for like a $1 million project.
Yeah, it's like I understand if like it's like, okay, we tried it didn't work. They did not ship anything.
There was no product.
And it's like, dude,
it's
like
all hype.
You've got to all hype, and then honestly like sketchy enough to be a scam. But like I don't name names or anything, but like it's just like, don't do that. There's going to be tough. Yeah, there's going to be tough.
You have a responsibility. People are relying on you. People are depending on you.
And just
people
like
believe in you.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like you did this, and then it's just like overall, it's like when things get tough, there's downs, there's ups. As long as generally it's going up.
As long as you're going up,
you're doing fine. Don't give up.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds really cliche, right? But
it's so true.
There's real world examples everywhere. People like fucking it up. Really.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I played football for 9 years, and I had this one football coach who actually has a Wikipedia page. He's had a Wikipedia page. His name is Jerry Gallagher. And before every game, he would say, there's going to be a point where there's adversity. How are you going to respond?
Yeah.
And those people responded by just like putting their heads in the sand. And I remember way back when we were having some difficult times at Everipedia, we kind of just like doubled down. We're just like, okay, like things like aren't that great right now, but we're going to like figure it out. And like, we just did everything we could to figure it out.
It's just a life mentality.
It's a life mentality. It's just like how you carry yourself through
That's
life.
what people mean when they're like bet on the founders early instead of the idea. Because like even if the idea is really good, like it's going to have to rely on the people behind it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on between working hard and working smart? Because people could like work their asses off, but like they could get nowhere. But like some people, they might make like a few like strategic good decisions and like make a ton of progress.
Yeah, what's that saying? I forget who this quote is from. It's like, the harder I work, the luckier I seem to get. Right? I forget who.
I'm not sure.
Just Google it, I guess. But yeah, honestly, you have to work hard, but you also can't you have to be smart about it. Yeah. And then also people are going to call it like really good luck. And then it's like, there is an element of luck. It's like a paradox, right? It always just seems like the harder you work, the luckier you get. And it's like, some of it's true, but you just don't know which one's luck and which one's just pure grit,
Yeah. Sometimes I want like, today we see some CEOs that are CEOs of 2 companies or 3 companies, like Elon Musk or Jack Dorsey. I'm just like, how do they do it? Like they can't, how do they focus on time on each company? Like they must be just making a few strategic decisions each day about each company. Like that's how I view it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know either, but maybe I'll find out with Decentralized Everipedia and predict all of these things. But it's hectic as fuck. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, like sometimes I try to reach you and it seems like so many people.
There's like 30 things in my mind at once, usually, probably a little more. And people sometimes are like, dude, you have like the 1,000-yard stare. What do they say with like soldiers in war or something? And then it's like, obviously I've never been in combat, but it's like, I still have the stare sometimes because I'm just like, there's so much shit going on in my mind.
Sometimes I think of it as that SpongeBob meme of like them all in the room on fire, and they're just like, "What's his name?" And they're trying to find it. They're all scrambling. It could sometimes be like that.
Seriously, right? Except you're trying to find 20 different names.
Yeah, 20 different names. It's like, oh fuck, which way do we go? Yeah, honestly, everything in life can be related back to memes. SpongeBob, specifically SpongeBob memes. I'll be referenced a lot in this show in the future, I'm sure.
We should have like a SpongeBob meme article on Everipedia that basically like describes the etymology of like the most like.
Oh yeah, they're definitely the most prominent used memes out there.
Cross reference, know your meme and stuff.
I talked to those guys recently.
Yeah,
they're really cool. Yeah,
it's a cool site.
No, I love what they're doing. It's like they've been around for over 10 years, and they're really doing like that service of like kind of filling in the white space. Like we're kind of doing it. We're doing it in a different way, but Know Your Meme has been doing it with like specifically memes for so long.
And it's very dank.
It's super dank. They have it down to like the dankest science.
For real, right?
Yeah. Meme historians, meme scribes. Yeah. Well, Sam, thank you so much. This was pretty cool.
No, dude, it was awesome. Thanks for having me, Dave.
Yeah.